2020 is over, and boy, what a year. Not only did we grow this channel at Left Undone from 20 subscribers to 10,500, but we followed the Lori Vallow Chad Daybell case deeper than deep. With over 150 videos on this case alone, it's time to recap. So thank you all for your support over the last year, and welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathryn. I've decided to do a recap of everything that's occurred in 2020 involving the Vallow Daybell case. Many things have happened in 2020, so let's lay out this entire year. Keep in mind, Charles Vallow, Tammy Daybell, and Alex Cox are all dead. And Tylee and JJ are missing at the start of the year. Also, before we get started, please don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and if you aren't a subscriber, please consider subscribing today and hitting that bell for notifications. We live stream every Saturday morning and put out videos on this case, as well as many others. We also take case requests. There is a case request form link in the description below. Now, let's talk about the timeline and recap the events that happened during 2020 in relation to the Vallow Daybell horrific case. On January 3rd, 2020, Rexburg law enforcement and the FBI serve a search warrant at Chad Daybell's home in Salem. Fremont County Sheriff Len Humphreys said investigators recovered 43 items, which included computers, cell phones, journals,
Good afternoon,
documents,
everybody. I'm
and
Nate
medication.
outside the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, where I have just wrapped up an interview with Sheriff Len Humphreys. He tells me that the search warrant that was served at the Daybell home in Salem on Friday resulted in the seizure of 43 items. Law enforcement took 43 items from the home, including journals, electronic devices, computers, other information, and other items that they believe will assist in the case of not only the two missing children, but the suspicious death of Tammy Daybell.
You guys responded to a death.
October 19th, we did respond to an unattended death at the Daybell home in southern part of Fremont County, Salem Highway. And Tammy Daybell was deceased at that time. My officers, deputies responded, and as we do with most unattended deaths, they took pictures, they looked it over, contacted our detectives. Detectives had a few questions, they satisfied those. Got the information they needed, didn't see anything that alarmed them, contacted the coroner. Coroner responded, and body was transported to the funeral home. The coroner went there also to do a further examination, and she determined that there was nothing out of ordinary, natural causes. A few days later, we started getting information out of Arizona that we maybe ought to take a closer look at this. As a result of that, we got a court order in December and had Tammy's body exhumed, and an autopsy was performed by the medical examiner in Utah.
And what's the status of that today, the autopsy?
We're still waiting for the lab results to come back. We were told that it would be at least 4 weeks, and I think we're in the third week now. And at least 4 weeks, so it could be longer.
Was Chad Daybell acting interesting or suspicious or normal when you all responded to the house when Tammy passed?
To my knowledge, he was responding like anybody would whose spouse had just passed away. That's why the deputies didn't suspect anything suspicious.
Let's fast forward to just a few days ago at the house, just on Friday. What were you guys doing out there?
We obtained a search warrant to search the house. Specifically, we looked for and we did retrieve computers, cell phones, personal electronic devices, medications, documents, journals, things like that. And we took a total of 43 items from the home on Friday.
Was there anything like hair or body fluids, anything more personal, I guess, that you could say that was taken from the home?
There were samples of various things taken that will be sent off to labs for further analysis.
And what was the purpose of the search?
We're trying to clarify things, figure out what it was that possibly might have happened there.
At this point, would you be comfortable saying that Tammy Daybell's death was not natural?
It's suspicious.
It's suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as if she was killed or poisoned or anything at this point, you obviously don't know.
We're waiting for the lab results.
So how does all of this tie in with the missing children?
So Chad married their mother very shortly after Tammy died.
Their mother being Lori.
Lori, yes.
When's the last time you guys spoke with Chad and or Lori?
I'm not sure exactly when that was, and I believe that was probably Rexburg Police that did speak with them. I don't think we've ever spoken to them directly. And that was when Rexburg was looking for the kids, and Lori told them that the kids were, or that the son, the 7-year-old, was in Arizona with family. I think family or friends.
Yeah.
Which wasn't true.
So have you been able to interview Chad about the death of his wife?
No.
On his accord. He doesn't want to talk.
Right.
Okay. But you obviously would like to talk to him about that.
We have been contacted by his attorney, and that was a couple of weeks ago. And his attorney was letting us know that any communications would be through him, and that there wasn't any at the time.
No communication at the time. And has that changed?
That has not changed.
Okay. Any idea where Chad and Lori are?
We're pretty sure they're not in Idaho.
And any idea what happened with the 2 children? That's what everybody wants to know.
It is what everyone wants to know, and certainly we're all concerned for their safety. And if, they would let us know where they're at, let somebody know where they're at, I don't think it'd be very difficult to prove their safety if they're okay. We would like to know that they're safe.
Do you know?
On January 7th, 2020, Kay and Larry Woodcock offer a $20,000 reward for information about the whereabouts of Tylee and JJ.
Okay, who wants to start? And do you want me to just simply give a start with who we are and where we're from and what we're doing?
That'd be great.
Okay. Kay said, here's a mint, you need it. Good morning, everybody. My name is Larry Woodcock. My wife, Kay Woodcock. And we are here to speak about the 2 missing children, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan. They have been missing now for approximately 2 months. And we are here primarily this morning to answer some questions that we are allowed to answer. And also, the main topic of this conversation today is the reward that we are posting. There's a $20,000 reward. I have a tendency to get very emotional when I talk about the children. I get extremely emotional when I talk about JJ. JJ is my heart. And I'm hoping that this will allow one person to simply say, I saw, I know where he's at, and give us that information so that we can bring JJ and we can bring Tylee back if they're here. No matter where they're at in the United States, we're here to offer a $20,000 reward. These are beautiful young children. They're 2 extremely intelligent young children, and We want them back. We want them back in our family.
On January 10th, Chad's brother, Matt Daybell, pleads for Chad to cooperate with investigators. Matt said immediate family had little association with the author, Chad, due to concerns with his religious claims and particular books that his published company has published, including Chad's own books. On January 25th, Kauai, Hawaii law enforcement served Lori with a notice. Lori must produce Tylee and JJ to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare or the Rexburg Police Department in 5 days. Then, on January 26th, East Idaho News and Nate approached Lori and Chad after law enforcement stopped them at the Kauai Beach Resort. Law enforcement seized the couple's rental car and searched their rental townhouse in Princeville, Hawaii.
I'm Nate Eaton with EastIdahoNews.com in Kauai, where Chad and Lori Daybell were served with 2 search warrants just hours ago. Law enforcement officers from eastern Idaho, along with federal agents and the Kauai Police Department, pulled Lori and Chad over. They were driving a black SUV. They pulled into this resort where I am standing. They put Chad into one vehicle, Lori into another. That's when their vehicle was seized and they had no way to get home. We had a chance to ask them so many questions that need answers. Lori, Nate Eaton with East Idaho News. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids?
No comment.
No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say? You're over here in Hawaii? Where are your children? Yeah, why don't you just give us a comment? Just tell us where they are. Chad, where are Lori's kids? What happened to Tammy, Chad? Can you tell us what happened to Tammy? Why have you guys been in Hawaii for so long? Listen, just tell people what's happening. There's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
That's great. That's great that they're praying for you, praying for your kids. What? You have nothing to say? Did you do something to your children? Are your children still alive? That's a simple question. I've got 3 kids of my own. I can tell you every minute where my kids are at. Where are your children? What do you guys plan to do now? You have 5 days to get your children in front of a judge in Rexburg, then what? Are you guys innocent of any crimes? Have you committed any crimes? Chad, you guys have a lot to say on your podcast. You don't have anything to say now? Lori? Do you believe that you were instructed by God or others to do something for your children? If you could give a message to them, what would you say? Listen, if you just talk to us, we'll leave you alone.
The family's worried. Tammy's family's very worried.
Tammy's family's very worried. Lori, your mother, Kay, came out. Kay and Larry, they're offering a $20,000 reward for your children. And you're over here on the beach? This is your chance to tell your story. Nothing you want to say? One last chance right here? Anything you want to say to the people in Idaho? Lori, you have a lot of cash there in your baggie. Were you guys planning to leave Hawaii? Were you planning to take off? And with that, Chad and Lori darted into this resort, and they still have not come out. Now, police have not said what they are searching for in that SUV or in their home, but one thing that was not found is Lori's children. JJ and Tylee are still missing. Tomorrow, we will have much more from Hawaii. For now, I'm Nate Eaton reporting for EastIdahoNews.com.
Nate was relentless in his questioning of Lori and Chad. Classic, and thankfully we have that on tape. On January 30th, Lori misses the 5 p.m. deadline to produce the children. Kay addresses the media without Larry due to his feeling ill and his high blood pressure.
Right. Lori hasn't come to Rexburg.
the kids haven't been delivered. It's 5 o'clock. This is her deadline for her court order to produce them. So at this point, it seems the next step is in the judge's hands, I do believe, to see how they're going to proceed with any type of consequence for not following a judge's order. So what exactly that is, I don't know. I can't guess on it. I can't say for sure what's going to happen next, other than that I hope it is something that will get her attention, because I'd love to know where those kids are, and I think all of America wants to know where they are, and that all this is just beyond crazy, that a mother can't. How do you not produce your child to? How do you not know where your child is, number one, so she says, and how do you not have them for 4 months? What kind of a mother does that? A mother, the only word that is coming to my mind right now is a monster. And as much as I loved Lori, she was my sister-in-law, and I loved her, and she was a great mother as far as I knew and as far as I saw for years. And all this is just, it's just been very disheartening, and I just can't, I don't know. I have so many questions that, y'all, I'm sorry, I got to turn my phone off. I just can't, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to react to this, because I had my hopes up, and Larry, we both had our hopes up a lot today for hopefully being able to see our grandson, and so now I'm quite disappointed. And even though I didn't have my hopes up very high that she would produce them, but you know, still I was hoping. I don't know. Anybody?
Are you feeling less optimistic about the outcome?
I'm a lot less optimistic at this moment. Everybody asks Larry and I, how are we getting through all this the last few months? And it's because we stay optimistic, because we just aren't accepting that the worst case scenario, we're not accepting it, and I don't think we ever will until we know 100% it's anything more than that it's anything that can be proven. I'm lost, y'all. Y'all have to excuse me on this. I'm tired, and I'm kind of upset right now. So, anyway. Anybody?
Did tell you if Chad and Lori are still in Hawaii? Do they know where they are?
I know that they're not in Hawaii. The police didn't have to tell us, but I was informed that they are still there, and probably sunning on the beach somewhere while we're sitting here wondering where the kids are.
And police didn't tell you what would be next with the investigation?
No, I don't. I'm hoping for some type of consequence that will get her attention, to make her have to talk. And other than that, there's nothing more that I can hope for. There's nothing more I can do. I do feel very confident that law enforcement is doing everything they can. This is such an unusual situation that I think, with the mere interest in everything, that the judge and whoever makes the decisions as to how it progresses from here, as far as what they're going to do with Lori, I think that I do believe they're going to not take this lightly, and they understand the seriousness of this. So I'm confident with that.
You met with law enforcement this morning?
Yes.
And how did that go?
We talked about just numerous things, and but nothing really that can be shared at this point. And you know, if and when I can share, I will. But thing is, I know the kids aren't here, and once again, we go back to the kids aren't here, Lori's not here, so we just have to wait and see how they're going to deal with it. So we know what to do.
Are you at all surprised that Lori did not cooperate?
I'm sorry?
Are you at all surprised that Lori did not cooperate?
I am not at all surprised of that. Lori's not going to make this easy. She's got an end game in her head, and although this is not a game, but obviously she thinks it is, for you to shun an order from a court telling you what you need to do and to just blow it off like, I'm not going to deal with it. Like when Nate was interviewing her the other day, that arrogant, smug attitude she had, that's what really let me know that she's not going to do anything unless she is absolutely forced to do it.
What do you think Lori's done with the kids?
I know she doesn't have them. I pray that they are with a family somewhere that is caring for them emotionally and any other way, that in a good home. But the mere fact that she put them in a stranger's home, I mean, I don't know. As far as I know, they're not with any family. They're not with our family. As far as I know, they're not with anybody in her family. Shows just complete lack of concern that the best interests of a 7-year-old autistic child who does not deal well with change, that she doesn't care. And because Larry and I would be the one place she knows that JJ would be the most comfortable with. Things like, if you email something, that she would email something that all you have to do is go look in the sent file and you can see what was emailed. Well, she was making videos of herself dancing, like I can't think of the dancing you call it, like I don't know if that's the right word, but just dancing, and she would email that to Chad. Charles told me about it, and I said, Charles, okay, he's married, she's married. That at the least is extremely inappropriate, but you don't do that. You don't do that if she's not having an affair. She is about to, but I promise you now, as a woman, and I see that kind of action from another woman, there's an affair going on. And that was last January.
So they've known each other. She knew Chad for at least a year or more.
Oh, yeah. I think they may have met in 2016, 2017 time frame. I'm not sure exactly when they met face to face. I do know she had been reading his books, and that's where I guess it sparked her interest, and eventually met him.
Have you spoken to any of Chad's children?
No, I don't. I don't know them. I am very sorry for what they're going through, what the loss of their mother. Their dad just seems to be just doing his own thing. So no, I haven't, but I do offer my condolences to the family. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. What I see happening is she's going to quickly become a Casey Anthony. Everybody remembers the Casey Anthony case, and she's still in hiding. Found innocent years ago, and she's still in hiding. So there's only so far this is going to bring Lori. There's only so far she can go with this, and I don't think any way she's going to deal with this is going to come out with her looking very good.
Do you think Chad might be in danger from her?
If I was Chad, I would be sleeping with one eye open. Absolutely. She's a black widow that is those are my thoughts and Larry's. Larry, by the way, isn't feeling really good today, so he's in a hotel resting. So yeah, it's not gonna. There's nowhere Lori can go with this to make her to come out of this with any kind of self respect. And Lori, Chad, this can end rather quickly, and it's going to end rather badly if y'all don't. Well, Lori, no, I don't think Chad's under the order. Lori, it will end rather badly for you if you don't follow the order and do what you're supposed to do.
Just in speaking to some of Chad's neighbors, associates, a lot of them say that they don't think he would be capable of anything, that there's some sort of misunderstanding or misinterpretation in the media. Do you believe that Chad knows exactly where the children are, what happened to them?
I have I don't know Chad. I don't know what kind of person he is. I mean, I've read that he was a good family man, a good, good in the community. But I just honestly can say I don't know if Chad realizes what he's gotten into. So I've never met him. All I know is I know Lori, and she has become quite a liar and a manipulator. And so, good luck for him. He better run the other direction right now. That'd be the best bet for him. And I guess she thought it's Lori time, so she got rid of everything, or got them out of her way, just like she did Charles, got him out of her way. Alex, I believe that I will be, I can't say, I don't know anything more than y'all do about whether his death was natural or not, but maybe it was, but I don't believe Tammy Daybell's was. There's too many people dying around Lori for it to all be natural. It just, unless she is the most unlucky person in the world, that's what I would think.
Do you think she was poisoned? Tammy Daybell.
I don't know. I mean, I don't. I knew that I've heard that she was in great health, preparing for a marathon run and things like that. But other than that, I mean, to me, if I'm preparing for a run like that, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be taking care of myself. I'm going to be doing all the right things. So, poison, I do believe that is not too far from something I wouldn't put past Lori at this point.
Or Chad?
Or I don't know. I don't know Chad enough to say. I don't know.
We will ask one more question so we can let her go.
Thank you. Okay. Who's it? Last.
I've got one.
Okay.
Did police give you any indication? I know they're reinvestigating Tammy's death. They exhumed her body. They went back to the home. Did police give you any information about what they found in that?
Oh, no. I've got no information on that whatsoever. Like y'all, that's how I learn about it. So.
Thank you, Ken.
All right.
January 3rd, East Idaho News visits the storage units where Lori abandoned several kids' items. Inside the unit, law enforcement finds bikes, a scooter, winter clothing, a photo album with pictures of Tylee and JJ, sports equipment, a backpack with JJ's initials, and a jersey with Colby Ryan's name on it. Also, there's blankets that show a picture of the children, photos of the children on these blankets. One was for JJ, and the other had a picture of Tylee.
Lori Vallow Daybell first came here to Self Storage Plus in Rexburg to rent a storage unit. This is the unit that she put her items in. It's a 10 by 10, and over the next few weeks after October 1st, she came here a few different times. Surveillance footage from the company shows Lori or a man associated with her visited her unit 9 times in October and 1 time in November. She came alone once on October 1st, the day she signed the contract and agreed to pay $53 a month. She was driving a blue Nissan Rogue. Lori returned October 2nd and 3rd with a man who appears to be her brother, Alex Cox. His truck is spotted on camera several times during the month. During one visit, the two of them enter the building. The man looks back and forth as Lori opens the unit door. He then removes a heavy tote with something hanging over the end. It's placed in the car. They go back inside the building and he carries out a tire while she closes the door. Between October 6th and 26th, a man, presumably Cox, visits the storage unit alone 5 times. Cameras show him dropping off a variety of items, including gun cases. And then on October 28th, 2 men are seen moving bikes into the unit. During October, the visitors are seen with large, heavy totes. Sometimes they put things in the unit, then remove them within days. The last time anyone visits the facility in October is on the 28th. Nobody comes back for nearly a month. But on November 24th, Lori and a man are again seen on camera. They stay for 4 minutes and leave. 2 days later, Rexburg police go to her townhouse for a welfare check on JJ. The next day, November 27th, officers serve a search warrant at the home and then go to the storage unit with a search warrant. Inside, they find bikes, a scooter, winter clothing, a photo album with pictures of the children, sports equipment, a backpack with JJ's initials, a jersey with Colby's name, Lori's oldest son, along with ice skates and blankets. One showing photos of JJ, the other with pictures of Tylee. Detectives photographed everything, and in January, when Lori's credit card was declined several times, Self Storage Plus notified the police. Workers say officers have not returned since the end of November. Workers have reached out to Daybell multiple times, but they have been unsuccessful in reaching her, and she has not contacted them. Now, here at Self Storage Plus, they realized the other day that Lori may have been using their facility. They called their security system Elite Surveillance. They came up and helped them pull the footage, and now they are waiting to see what's next. Reporting in Rexburg, I'm Nate Eaton, EastIdahoNews.com.
Tylee. On February 12th, 2020, Kay tells East Idaho News that in February of 2019, Charles removed Lori from the $1 million life insurance policy. Kay was then named the sole beneficiary. Larry and Kay were then appearing at the hearing for the child custody case in Madison County.
Kay and Larry Woodcock, the grandparents of 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow, who went missing in September alongside his sister, 17-year-old Tylee Ryan, walked into a Madison County courtroom expecting a short guardianship hearing. Nearly 2 hours later after the closed hearing, the couple walked out of the courthouse with little to say.
We just finished with our conference with the judge, and our attorney, I'm going to ask him to make the statement on where we're at today.
What's your attorney's name?
So I'm Kyle May. I'm an attorney in Pocatello, Idaho for May, Rammel, and Wells. And today, basically the statement that we're going to make is we had a status conference, really a scheduling conference in front of the judge today on a guardianship case that has been filed, and a new hearing date is going to be set in the near future. And that is all we really have today to be able to say to you guys.
So no decisions were made?
Just, we're going to have a hearing coming up.
Another
It
one.
was just a status conference, so
Yeah.
we don't even know how to say what happened. We're just listening to
this
what...
is their language. Yeah. And
All it
not
is a
attorneys.
scheduling conference. All it was just to talk about where the status of the case is, what's happening, and when we're going to go and litigate this later on.
Can you say Rexburg Police was involved? Because 2 detectives did walk into the hearing. Can you say at all their involvement at Rexburg Police today?
That's the only statement that we're going to make today. All other questions or comments we'll have to answer at a later time.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, it's...
Okay,
Reporting
Jess.
in Rexburg, I'm Eric Grossarth, EastIdahoNews.com.
on February 14th, Dateline NBC aired a 2-hour special called Where Are the Children? On February 20th, law enforcement in Kauai arrest Lori on $5 million warrant out of Madison County, Idaho. And she's charged with 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children. She's also charged with resisting or obstructing an officer, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court, and willful disobedience of court process or order.
We begin with breaking news. Lori Vallow, the mother of 2 missing children with ties to Arizona, just appeared in court in Hawaii.
She was arrested yesterday on counts of felony child abandonment, along with other charges.
There's still no word on the whereabouts of those children. So some have been haven't seen them since September. Justin Lum is here with the latest today. Justin.
John Kerry, in about an hour or so, we expect to hear from Kauai police. A news conference will be held at KPD headquarters regarding Lori Vallow's arrest. But now we know Lori Vallow will remain jailed in Kauai for now, and her bail stays at $5 million.
She doesn't even have a passport. And as to the charges, as the court noted, a couple of things the court noted today that were I guess, prescient and related. First of all, there's no life in prison or death penalty in this case, so she has a right to bail.
In fact, Lori Vallow's defense team asked the judge to reduce her bail from $5 million to $10,000, claiming she is not a flight risk. In the room for Lori's first court appearance since her arrest on Thursday, her husband, Chad Daybell, watching closely.
Your Honor, she has no ties to this island other than a rented condominium in Princeville. She has apparently resources to travel and leave. And, Your Honor, the state submits that if ever there was a case suitable, you know our office does not request this on a regular basis, that a person be denied bail. This is the case that's appropriate for that.
Kauai County's prosecuting attorney says Lori should have been denied bail and has no ties to the island, pointing to the serious charges against her, including 2 felony counts of child abandonment. Her kids, JJ and Tylee, haven't been seen for 5 months. The probable cause statement from Rexburg police reveals more on 7-year-old JJ Vallow. The Idaho State Pharmacy told detectives his prescription for risperidone had not been filled in Idaho. The medicine treats irritability caused by his autism. During a search warrant at Lori Vallow's home on November 27th, police found a bottle with 17 pills in Lori's home. When Lori moved her kids JJ and Tylee from Chandler to Rexburg, court docs say she told her friend that Tylee was taking classes at BYU Idaho. But police say records show Tylee never enrolled at BYU Idaho or any other school affiliated with BYU. And a new development. September 8th is when police say Tylee was last seen at Yellowstone National Park. A search warrant used on Lori Vallow's iCloud showed police a photo of Tylee at the park that day. The National Park Service also provided a photo of Tylee seen at the park entrance that same day. Lori Vallow will contest extradition. The Madison County Prosecuting Attorney's Office is ready to seek a governor's warrant immediately. So Lori Vallow's extradition hearing is set for March 2nd. At 6 tonight, KPD will speak to the media. Stay with us. Live in the studio, Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
Thank you, Justin.
On February 26th, Lori waives her extradition to Idaho after 6 days behind bars in Hawaii. The waiver came after multiple failed attempts to reduce her bail. On March 4th, Lori appears for the last time in Kauai court to discuss the final details of the extradition. Her attorneys stand by her, using Lori's Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, especially during the extradition
process underway for Lori Vallow. That's the mom of 2 missing kids with ties to Arizona. After a quick court hearing in Hawaii today, Vallow is headed back to Rexburg, Idaho, where she's due in court on Friday.
Now, Justin Lum joins us live from Rexburg, expecting her arrival. He's got an exclusive interview with a woman who says she was recently on a flight with Lori's husband to Arizona. Justin.
Yeah, John Kerry, it was September 19th, and we'll get to more on that specific date in just a moment. But many residents in the small town of Rexburg have asked the question, where is Chad Daybell? Have you seen him? Well, he could make his first public appearance Friday afternoon in court as his wife Lori stands in front of a judge to face 2 felony counts of child abandonment. But why did Chad fly into Mesa? Well, this Rexburg woman we spoke to says she got to know him a bit on a direct flight.
Chad Daybell was sitting in the middle seat right by me.
This Rexburg woman wants to remain anonymous. We'll call her Anna. On a flight from Idaho Falls to the Mesa airport on September 19th, Anna says she shared a pleasant conversation with Chad Daybell. They talked about their families, religion, and his fictional books about the end of times.
He told me he was not writing those novels anymore about an apocalypse or something. He was just going in a total new direction.
Anna says Chad planned to help a relative in the valley, a woman who needed to remodel her home. September 19th is also an important date for Rexburg police. Detectives say Lori Vallow used care.com to find a babysitter for her son JJ. RPD says the babysitter did indeed watch him that day. JJ was last seen on September 23rd. His sister Tylee hasn't been seen since September 8th at Yellowstone Park. You clearly see the no trespassing sign here. This is where Chad Daybell lives, a little less than 10 minutes away from Madison County. On his door, it also says he will not be speaking to the media. This is also where his first wife Tammy died in her sleep on October 19th. Her death is still being investigated as suspicious. Lori now has 3 new attorneys to represent her in Madison County Court Friday. Her lawyers have filed to reduce her bond amount. We have not seen Chad outside of his home yet, but his son did come out to get the mail. Hey, Seth? Are you Seth Daybell? Not making any comments? And Kauai's prosecuting attorney said Lori would be picked up sometime this afternoon and flown out of Hawaii tonight. Remember, we are 3 hours ahead here, but we'll keep you updated on her extradition. Live in Rexburg, Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
On March 5th, Idaho law enforcement extradite Lori to Rexburg.
Who's that blonde girl?
She looks like she has handcuffs on right there. Do you see?
Yeah, she does. But who's that blonde girl next to her? It's like her mom. Like, who's that? What's wrong with her?
She's going to the unmarked car.
Also, the FBI released 2 photos taken on September 8th, 2019, the last time Tylee was seen. On March 6th, Lori makes her first initial appearance. Magistrate Judge Farron Eden reduces Lori's bail to $1 million.
Please be seated. And Mr. Rammel, this is the date and time set for an initial appearance to law enforcement regarding the whereabouts of a child, JV, date of birth 5/25/2012. Ms. Daybell, do you understand the charge of count 4 as well as the maximum penalty? Provided for you to do so. Do you understand those legal rights, Ms. Daybell? All right, Ms. Daybell, now we'll schedule the preliminary hearing. I've met with counsel in chambers prior to coming out here, and there's a few dates that I believe did work. Mr. Wood, on behalf of the state, you designated that the state needs approximately 2 weeks to be ready. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you also designated that the state needed 2 days for the preliminary hearing to take place. Is that correct?
Yes. Factors to be considered at setting bail. So we'll go down through those. The defendant's employment status and history. As far as we're aware, she's not presently employed. No argument can be made that she's at a risk of losing employment. Their financial condition. We are aware that the defendant's new husband received a substantial sum of life insurance proceeds from the death of his wife last October. Obviously, those funds provide them with the ability to relocate quickly and to stay away from Idaho, which we believe they've already done. The nature and extent of the defendant's family relationships. The defendant's only family here is her new husband. And it's important for the court to consider that at a bail reduction hearing in Hawaii, very recently, the defendant's attorney represented to the court that her husband lived in Hawaii, not in Idaho. Now, we understand that the defendant does have a house here, close to here. However, the fact that the defendant represented to a Hawaii court that they lived in Hawaii shows that they consider their ties not in Idaho, but in Hawaii. And in terms of her past residences, if we go back to the last year, it gets a little more concerning. In regards, since this last summer, the defendant has lived in Arizona, Idaho, and Hawaii. And quite frankly, the circumstances under which she left Arizona, which was soon after the killing of her estranged husband by her brother, and the circumstances in which she left Idaho, which was the same night Rexburg police did a welfare check on her, give the state serious concern that she is a flight risk. Factor 4 is the defendant's character and reputation. Since this last summer, there has been a clear and alarming pattern in the defendant's life. There are literally 3 active investigations of suspicious deaths that she is related to. And I want to be clear, Your Honor, we're not saying she's been charged in those. And we're not saying the court should treat her as such. However, she is related to each of those deaths, and it is alarming to the state.
I recognize all of the factors that have been looked at here. One specific thing that the court notes in setting such a high bail amount is that there is a pending court order, and to my knowledge, there has been nothing set forth regarding obedience to that court order pertaining to lining the court out with information on where the 2 children are at the Department of Health and Welfare or at the Rexburg Police Department. So with that, bail will be set at $1 million. If bail is posted, there will...
All right, everybody, you heard it here live first on Fox News Now. Lori Vallow's bail has been set at $1 million. Now, usually when you get a bail bondsman, pay bail, it's not the full amount. Sometimes it's half. Depends. But regardless if Lori Vallow makes bail or has somebody make bail for her, she is released. She's going to be required to stay in certain counties there in close proximity in Idaho. And she will have a 24/7 ankle monitor. So
on March 13th, Lori's attorneys appear before the judge, Judge Edens, and Edens removes himself from the case. This was requested by Lori's defense team. Judge Michelle Mallard is assigned to the case, awaiting the May preliminary hearing. Also, defense attorneys Brian Webb and Edwina Elcox share they intend to withdraw from the case. On March 24th, Lori's remaining attorney, Mark Means, filed a motion to reduce Lori's bail again. Means notes that the new facts have come to light since a previous bail hearing, but he does not elaborate. Then on April 9th, there's a major development in the case involving the death of Tammy Daybell. In a letter obtained by East Idaho News, Chad and Lori are being investigated for conspiracy, attempted murder, and/or murder by the Idaho Attorney General's office. On May 1st, Lori appears in a Rexburg courtroom to ask again for bond reduction. Mark Means argues that the jail recorded a conversation between Lori and Means, and this conversation violates her constitutional rights. Judge Mallard denies the request and bail remains at $1 million. On May 8th, Maricopa County medical examiner releases a report of Alex Cox's autopsy. They say Alex died of natural causes: pulmonary embolisms, blood clots in the lungs. Still don't know how they did it. On May 26th through 28th, East Idaho News releases the 3-part interview between Nate and Melanie Gebb. And much of this confirmed the original zombie email that was sent here to Left Undone way back when. On June 9th, around 7 a.m., Rexburg law enforcement, the FBI, and the Fremont County Sheriff's Office serve a search warrant at the Salem home of Chad Daybell. Within hours, law enforcement uncover what they called unidentified human remains. And they bring in a backhoe to dig deeper in the backyard. At 11:30 a.m., Chad Daybell is taken into custody. Prior to that, he and Lori have a conversation on the phone, which is very interesting to say the least. And they seem to understand what is about to happen because those bodies are right there. So at 11:30 a.m., Chad Daybell is taken into custody about a mile from his house just moments after the remains are uncovered. Chad is booked into the Fremont County Jail on 2 felony counts of concealment, distribution, or alteration of evidence. On June 10th, Chad makes his first court appearance via video from jail. Judge Edens sets his bail at $1 million. Prosecutor Rob Wood confirms at that hearing that the remains that were found were that of the 2 children, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow. On June 13th, law enforcement confirms these are the remains of Tylee and JJ after they were identified and the autopsies were conducted. On June 22nd, the FBI releases another photo taken of Tylee and JJ with Alex Cox at Yellowstone and urged the public to come forward with any photographs taken in Yellowstone on September 8th, 2019. On June 29th, prosecutors filed charges against Lori in Fremont County in relation to the discovery of her dead children's bodies. 2 counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. A 16-page affidavit of probable cause contains information by detectives that led them to file the charges. On July 2nd, prosecutors dismiss 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children. On July 15th, Lori pleads not guilty to misdemeanor or resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court. During the televised court appearance through a Zoom call, appearing for the victims, Colby and Kelsey Ryan, Lori's son and daughter-in-law, appear. Kay Woodcock and Larry Woodcock are present but are not shown on the screen. Lori appears to wipe a tear from her eye. Is she crying? I don't know. I'm still debating on that. Maybe allergies. These changes in Madison County are set for a jury trial from January 25th to January 29th, 2021. On July 22nd, Lori's prediction of the day when Jesus Christ would return comes and goes. We're all still here. And clearly, she did not lead any kind of 144,000, not even ants. On July 27th, Rob Wood asked Judge Eden to not allow cameras in the upcoming preliminary hearing of Chad Daybell. East Idaho News and other media outlets object to the motion and hire Idaho Falls-based attorney Steve Wright. After hearing from all the attorneys, Judge Eden agrees to allow the broadcast and live stream of the hearing. On August 3rd and 4th, Chad's 2-day preliminary hearing is held in Fremont County. Friends, witnesses, investigators testify at the hearing where Judge Edens ruled the prosecution has enough probable cause to move the case to district court. During the preliminary hearing, we heard recorded phone calls, one of Lori and Chad, just moments before the children's remains were found buried in the shallow graves on Chad's property. The other, a call recorded by Melanie Gibb of Chad and Lori talking with Melanie. During the preliminary hearing, Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, who is Melanie Gibb's boyfriend-fiance, David Warwick, detectives, and other witnesses testified. On August 5th, Lori waives her preliminary hearing set for August 10th and 11th. She clearly knows what's going to happen. So she waives that hearing that's set for August 10th and 11th in Fremont County. With the waiver, Lori's case automatically moves to the district court level where she will enter a plea. On August 21st, Chad appears for his district court arraignment before District Judge Stephen Boyce. He pleads not guilty to the felony charges, and a 3-week jury trial is scheduled to begin in January 2021. On August 27th, Chad's attorney, John Pryor, asked Judge Boyce to dismiss the entire case against his client. Pryor claims that Rob Wood failed to provide enough evidence to support the allegations against Chad. On September 1st, Rob Wood filed a motion asking to join the cases of Chad and Lori Daybell. On September 8th, the day marking 1-year anniversary of Tylee's death. On September 10th, Lori is arraigned in the district court where she pleads not guilty to the 2 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. A jury trial is set to run from March 22nd to April 2nd, 2021. September 14th, Lori has no objection to the joinder. Mark Means asked District Court Judge Dane A. Watkins Jr. if Lori can wear street clothes to her court hearings. Judge Watkins granted the request, as long as the street clothes are solely provided by her. On September 17th, Mark Means asked for a change of venue, expressing that Lori can't receive a fair and impartial jury. On September 23rd, a somber day, marking the 1-year anniversary of JJ's death. On October 3rd, CBS 48 Hours airs the final days of JJ and Tylee. On October 15th, Pryor files order to continue hearing on the motion to dismiss. On October 19th, Tammy Daybell's siblings and parents announced the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation on the 1-year anniversary of her death. On October 20th, Chad's hearing to dismiss the case is changed to November 24th at 9 a.m. On October 21st, Mark Means puts out 2 tweets. The first expressing the defense lacks the resources of the prosecution and all the departments involved in the case, asking for any persons with knowledge to come forward. In the second tweet, Mark Means calls out Melanie Gibb and David Warwick, stating they appear to have been eagerly involved in more than they let on, along with a gif of rats running away. Means ends the tweet with, "If you know something, say something." On October 29th, during a hearing, using Zoom, Judge Boyce rules the jury trial for Chad and Lori will be combined. On November 5th, on the first wedding anniversary of Chad and Lori, there's an audio recording of Lori saying she was going to murder Tylee's father, Joseph Ryan. On November 9th, law enforcement in Arizona begin reviewing the investigation into the death of Joseph Ryan. On November 12th, new date for the jury trial for Chad and Lori is scheduled for July 19th, 2021. On November 18th, an Arizona judge grants Melanie Pulowski joint custody of the 4 children she shares with Brandon Boudreaux. On November 24th, Chad's motion to dismiss the hearing is postponed until January 6th, 2021. On December 3rd, John Pryor files a 6-page document to outline reasons for Chad's change of venue. On December 11th, that date is the 1-year anniversary of the body of Tammy Daybell being exhumed. On December 12th, that is the 1-year anniversary of Alex Cox's death. On December 15th, John Pryor and Mark Means, the defense attorneys, file a motion to disqualify Rob Wood from the case, stating prosecutorial misconduct. due to a recording of an interview with Rob Wood and Lori's sister, Summer Shiflett. Also on the recording is Alex Cox's widow, Zulema Pastinas. Both of these women are considered material witnesses. Both Summer and Zulema are represented by Garrett Smith. Rob Wood traveled to Arizona in October of 2020. The meeting occurred at the Chandler, Arizona Police Department. Smith recorded the meeting and sent it to Mark Means. On December 16th, Rob Wood responds to the motion to disqualify, denying any misconduct. On December 17th, Judge Boyce seals motion to disqualify Rob Wood. On December 18th, there is a closed hearing regarding accusations of prosecutorial misconduct. A hearing to decide if Rob Wood should be disqualified is then scheduled for January 6th, 2021. Stays away. On December 20th, Investigation Discovery Channel aired a 3-hour-long special titled Doomsday: The Missing Children. That special followed Kay and Larry Woodcock from this entire year of what they were going through, behind the scenes, and just the heartbreak of what they were living through. So many things have happened in 2020 regarding this case. Throughout 2020, there were still no murder charges for Chad or Lori. Even though the children's remains are found on Chad's property, there's no murder charges. We wait. We witnessed Mark Means make a fool out of himself countless times in 2020. We mostly only saw Lori wearing her face mask, hiding behind the mask. As the case against her keeps growing and growing, we'll find out if Rob Wood will continue as prosecutor on January 6, 2021. Hopefully, there will be murder charges soon. Who knows how many stumbling blocks will be placed in the way of justice for Tylee and JJ in 20 and 21. Left Undone will continue to keep you updated on the Vallow Daybell case and other true crime cases throughout 2021. Thank you for watching Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathryn.